All right. Now we're starting to get into the, I don't know, the big kahuna of what this section is about, is actually fully factoring things. Okay, so let's factor f of x equals x to the fourth minus 5x cubed minus 100x squared minus 283x minus 165. Okay, so now the first thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to actually list all possible rational zeros. Okay, this is going to give us a starting point, somewhere we can start to, make, like I said, start factoring it. Okay, so let's take the factors of 165. Well, I'm going to factor 165 here. So 165, I see that it's divisible by 3. Okay, so 165 divided by 3, I think that's 55. And then that's 5 and 11. Okay, so the list of factors of 165 are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 11. Now I also have plus or minus 15, the 3 times the 5, plus or minus 33, and plus or minus 55, plus or minus 165. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things, 16 numbers to check, which feels like a lot, but really compared to the infinity of numbers that you could have had, it's a lot easier. Actually, in this case, 160, well, yeah, infinity of numbers, let's say. All right, so let's start. Now, I normally, when I look at f of 1, I can do that without doing any sort of fancy stuff. So I look at f of 1 and I see that's going to be 1 minus 5 is negative 4, minus 100 is negative 104, minus, it's not going to be 1. Okay, I can clearly, quickly see that's not 0. Let's try negative 1. Okay, negative 1, so that's going to be 1 plus 5 is 6. Okay, minus 100 is negative 94. Plus 283 is going to be what, like, oh man, I have to use my calculator on this one. So 1 plus 5 minus 100 plus 283 minus 165, that's 24, not 0. So 1 is out. Oh man, I hate when that happens. All right, so we're going to look at 3 first. We're going to look at 3 next. So let's put 3 in the corner. We're testing if 3 is a root. Okay. So we do our synthetic division. We put, remember, all these coefficients, checking to make sure we're not missing any. Okay, here we might be missing, like, say, an x squared term, but we're not. We have them all. So negative 5 and plus 3 is negative 2. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Negative 100 and negative 6 is negative 106. Negative 106 times 3 is negative 318. Okay, at this point, I know I can see that it's not going to be right. So we get negative 2163. Okay, so 3 is not going to work either. It's out. Okay, oh, let's put it in red over here. Ah, good. Let's try that again. Put that in red. Oh, I didn't mean to move that one. Okay, all right. So 3 is out. Well, we're going to try negative 3. Do the same thing. All right. So 1 comes down. All right. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Negative 5 and negative 3 is negative 8. Negative 3 and negative 8 is 24. Negative 124 is what? Negative 76. Times negative 3 is going to be 228. Negative 55. Look at that. When we multiply negative 3 times negative 55, we get 165 and we get 0. So yay, this one's a good one. Let's I can barely see my smiley face there. Let's try that again. Okay. Get some eyebrows here. I'm not an artist, okay, but that one works. All right, so what does that tell us? That tells us that we started with x to the 4th minus 5x cubed minus 100x squared minus 283x minus 165 equals x plus 3. Let me write that 3 a little better. Times x cubed minus 8x squared minus 76 minus 55. Okay, now this thing is called the depressed equation. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to factor that one. Okay, now I already know 3 is not a factor and neither is 1 or negative 1. Okay, so I'm going to take, and I can do my same list. Okay, so my new list are the factors of 55. Okay, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 11, plus or minus 55. However, plus or minus 1 have already been taken off because if 1 was a factor of this, then it would have been a factor of the full thing, right? Okay, so let's take and put, I'm going to actually try negative 5 as the factor. Okay, and I'll explain why I'm doing negative 5. You may have noticed that when I had a positive 3, okay, with all these negatives, they just became impossible to get my answer, right? So I'm thinking the same sort of thing I'm going to need to have happen. Look at all these negative signs, okay? And that's in one of the sections that we don't cover called the rule of signs, which you can look into, but we'll just pass on that, and we'll just say -5 seems like a reasonable choice for the next one. What are, let me fix that. Whew. Uh, okay, if you guys were here, you would have fixed me. You would have said, hey, where was that X, Dr. R? And I would have been like, yeah, my bad. All right. So, but we fixed it. Okay, we put the new coefficients along the top. Again, we notice there's none missing. X cubed, X squared, X constant. Okay. 1 comes down. 1 times -5 is -5. -8 and -5 is -13. Okay. -5 and -13 multiplied give you 75. 65. Getting hungry, I guess I need my Wheaties. -76 and 65 is -11. Just kidding, I don't eat Wheaties. -11 times -5 is 55, and we get 0. Okay, so our new equation is going to be x squared minus 13x minus 11. So our full equation is now x plus 3, x plus 5, x squared minus 13x minus 11. Okay. So that's our original expression factor. Okay, now our rational roots are -3 and -5. We can still factor this though, but we can no longer keep our answers rational. Okay, we may have imaginary or just real numbers. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Let's factor x squared minus 13x minus 11. Well, let's take that equaling 0. So x is going to equal 13 plus or minus square root of 13 squared minus 4 times 1 times -11 all over 2. Okay, so x is going to be 13 plus or minus square root of, oh, I got to do that. So 169 plus 44 is 213 over 2. Just check that. Okay. I don't like that one bit. So our f of x completely is x plus 3, x plus 5, x minus 13 plus square root of 213 over 2, x minus 13 minus square root of 213 over 2. Okay, so now these roots, those are not rational. Okay, that's why they don't show up in our list. All right. Okay, we got one more problem. We're just going to do another factoring, but this time we're going to go with the situation where this coefficient is not 1. Okay, so that's going to be the next problem. All right. All right. Catch you guys in the next video.